Okay, my friends, let's start. My name is Kaplunovich. I'm a CTO and founder of Advanced Technology Experts and Cloud Talk. And I'm going to be talking about Alexa in education, and revolution is coming. Revolution in the voice computing, in the way we interact with the computers, because it's really exciting and we all experience it, we all see it. So voice computing devices, they all appear pretty recently, but the whole idea is they're voice first, and those devices understand, speak, play, read. What's important to mention, those devices are not just smart speakers, as we all know, but they are rather machine learning, Internet of Things, AI devices that understand what you are saying. They can find the intelligent answer, and that's what distinguishes them. Basically, all Star Trek dreams came true. You know, we all were watching those movies when people were interacting with computers over voice, and even like 10 years ago, it was impossible. So what happened? Those devices have cloud integration with cloud ecosystem, which is very important because it's not just internet or server or memory, it's the whole ecosystem of all the database, analytical tools, and all of those tools usually belong to the same cloud, and it makes it easier, for all those services and tools talk to each other. Data aggregation, machine learning, and now with Spot and display, we can have photo and video enhancements to our skills. University portal. All of us went to the university or college, and nowadays all of the students are using university portals when they have to register for all kinds of important services like registration, bill payment, course search, grades, schedule, department information, faculty details, parking permits, you name it. Those university portals have thousands of features, but usually they have very cumbersome menus and pretty inconvenient and long logging. So one thing you realized that nowadays most of those features can be replaced by voice devices because the main idea of those devices, it's very easy to give the command instead of menu, which is pretty difficult. Instead of login and password, we can use Alexa authentication or authorization. We can even use the voice footprint to authenticate you based on your voice, and then you can do all kind of the same services. Voice-first applications. Communicate or voice, security, database, storage, adoption growth, convenience, speed, security, and natural conversation. The most important way for people to communicate to each other is a conversation. And that's what Alexa-like devices give us. Because conversation, talk, speech is the easiest. And that's one of the reasons when people who started using Alexa or other voice devices continue using them more and more, because it's just more convenient. Once you compare, you can see. And not to mention that you see the huge growth of households with smart speakers. We see the exponential growth, and it will be more and more and more. Because honestly, one of the important things, I believe conferences like that's main goal is the peer pressure. Because a lot of people know how good it is, how convenient it is, but still are afraid to start using it and still are afraid to pay money for that. And I believe that with a conference like that, with all the key players, more and more companies, more and more people with money will realize that they have to spend money on the voice devices, on the Alexa skills, on the Internet of Things voice skills, because it's the future. It makes much easier to communicate. It makes much simpler and much faster. And you see, web applications, what are the trends? There are several trends I would like to be talking about. The first trend was internet. And that trend was pretty similar because when it first appeared, people didn't think how important it is. People didn't think that every single company will have a website. Think about 20, 25 years ago. Okay, internet was there, but people were using it a little bit for emails, for some simple websites. My name is Alex and I like the Rolling Stones. Look what happened now. So that's the first trend. Then mobile first trend. It happened 10 years ago when ultimately every one of us are having smartphones with full features, with the features of small working computer. Then we have another trend, cloud first, when people realized it's much safer, it's much better, it's much more reliable to host your applications on the cloud. And now is the current trend, voice first. When people are realizing that it's much easier for customers to use the applications over voice. Instead of using the computers, instead of using logging, passwords, two-phase authentication, because it's just less convenient and it's less natural. Now, the beauty of this current voice first trend, you can see it utilizes all the previous trends because voice first is definitely cloud first because all voice devices have applications running on the cloud. Internet, definitely, Alexa can't work without internet. Mobile, most of the applications will still use mobile, and Alexa skills will just enhance it. Analytics, AI, and more. And that's the newest thing because more and more data is being collected. And Alexa makes it much easier. And once you collect all the data, you can do amazing things. And one thing I've heard today at the conference is really interesting. When we design Alexa skills, we expect certain usage patterns. And it turns out that sometimes our expectations are wrong. Sometimes users use applications a little bit differently. But the beauty of Alexa, the beauty of voice devices, we collect all the information, we collect all the phrases, we collect all the usages, and our application can adapt based on the actual usage patterns. Voice first, university portal. I am associated with University of Maryland, and we are really wanted to do something good for the university. So we decided to create the university portal with Alexa skill. Because as I mentioned, almost all university portal features can be done in Alexa. Now, what's the beauty of it? It's convenient, secure, and fast, because again, conversation is much easier, especially for the students who are fast, who are brilliant, who are talented, who adopt new technologies. Second, it's an opportunity to redesign the existing university applications. It's extremely important because we know some of those applications were written many years ago. And with the redesign, we can apply best practices. We keep all interfaces if we want, but we can improve them. We add voice capabilities because my vision is voice devices wouldn't replace existing web or mobile applications. They will just extend them. They will be natural that every single application will have a voice skill related to it. And again, we collect all the data for analytic. And what's really important, and we see it already, those skills will become an integral part of campus life. Because one of the important things of the skills, not just write it and publish it, but to engage, to make sure that students use them and make sure that students use them from day to day. That's why it's an important thing, and we can see the results. If we didn't do something right, the people wouldn't use it. Architecture. That's another beauty of it. Alexa devices are closely integrated with the cloud ecosystem. That's why, basically for free, we have serverless functions. Basically for free, we have dynamo databases that have up to milli or even microsecond latency to access your data. And for voice, it's really important because you want your answers to be replied really fast. Advantages. Cost saving. One of the important advantages of cloud is you save money. Because think about that. Universities spend millions on the servers. And there are a lot of companies selling them the servers, claiming that their servers are the best, claiming that their database will run the best on that particular server for no reason. And with the cloud, and especially with the Alexa design, which is serverless, they just don't have to have a single server. All their code will be on the cloud, and it will be scaled on demand. That's another beauty of Alexa, of Lambda, of serverless functions. Because the way it works, if for some reason certain functions are called 1 million times, they will be scaled just for those functions, scaled up and scaled down when the usage is gone. So it's really important, so you save money. Now, better software design. Definitely you can use Cloud Function. It's event-based, so you don't have idle for anything. You use your servers only when they need it. Security. Now it's already well known, it's a fact that cloud security is better than on-site security because the best brains are working on that and provide the best possible capability. Data is safe, and what's important, data is backed up. Most of the cloud databases, especially Dynamo database, provide two very important features. First, automatic backups, and second, auto-scaling. Because as I mentioned, the server side, when your skill is called 1 billion times, cloud will take care of that and will create all the necessary resources for that. But same for the database. If for some reason your database is queried big time, you can configure your DynamoDB to scale. Voice portal features. Very important day-to-day student activities. Search courses, register, call emergency if something happens, read schedule, read faculty details, and that's just the beginning. It will be more and more because you can do homework, you can inquire about homework, you can have even some conversations with the professors, you can even have Alexa office hours. Because technically speaking, there are limitless opportunities, but you should start somewhere. Voice systems by category. Here is the set of voice skills by category, and you see that currently we have 28% for smart home, 15% by games, 13% by music and audio, 8% by news. And it's really interesting because that list is very, very dynamic. That's the current snapshot, but with thousands and thousands new tools are written, that might change. How does it work? How Alexa skill work? By the way, a little survey. How many of you have written Alexa skills? Great, some of you have. So I will just give you a little detail. So how does Alexa understand what you say and how to interpret it and what to say back? The way it works is very simple. You create a machine learning model, which is called interactive model, where you specify utter cases, slots, intents, and dialogue. All those things are very straightforward. They are being sent and received and response request protocols in the JSON format. Now, state. We store the state of your conversation in the DynamoDB, so if for some reason you lost the connection, at least you will have the record of that. You will have the state of your application, and you'll be able to see what was happening. And the best, access to cloud ecosystem. So you have access to all cloud services: database, analytics, networking, authentication, authorization, you name it. And all of them are working together. Now, 3 phases of cloud. As you know, cloud was incepted very early, 2006. It's just 12 years ago. 12 years is nothing. And originally, it was incepted just to have servers and store. That's it. And even that was pretty revolutionary. But when it was incepted by Amazon, by the way, people were not sure where it will go. Because at the time, yes, it was still cheaper to host your applications on the cloud with the server you configure. However, what happened next is really amazing. The new set of cloud features were designed and developed. And we call them managed services that auto-scale, that auto-backup, that allow you to have your servers without patching, without operating system patching and application patching. And that, as Alexa, saved a lot of not only money but time. Because as we know, the whole concept of even you think database patching, database backups take a lot of resources. So with cloud, you just don't have to do that. And there are more services: messaging, mobile, data stream, databases. It grows and grows and grows. I go to Amazon reInvent every year, and every year they release some new interesting service. And since our Alexa skills are already on the cloud, you can easily use those services. So now, phase 3, that's the most interesting phase. That's the current phase, because it happens now. Serverless cloud functions. Because now you don't just need to have servers at all. Now you just host your code on the cloud, and it will be scaled as needed. Serverless NoSQL databases like DynamoDB, they have microsecond latency, and they have auto-scaling, and they have security so good that you can configure your NoSQL database to access only data related to the users. Just user logs in, and you can configure it so that they can see only their data. Now they have graph database called Neptune. Now they have machine learning and analytics. They have real-time data analytics. And they have voice computing. Security is crucial for education because you probably don't want the students to see grades of each other. You don't want the students to mess with their grades. That's why it's extremely important to make sure that our security portal is safe. So how can we do it? Again, we have a lot of features. We have authentication authorization, which you can do through password with your Alexa mobile application. You can have voice recognition. You can have cloud function security role that has the very, very, very granular access to your database. And you can have access to other services like email, like texting, and all of them are here for you. And all of them can have individual security policies because you have full control. And since they are all located on the same cloud, they can share roles or they can have different roles, and it's completely up to you. The beauty of it, all the roles are closely integrated with the cloud. Now, Alexa. Alexa is in the intersection of the coolest technologies. First of all, it's the Internet of Things device. right? It's the device that is connected to internet, that can record its data, that's closely connected to the cloud, that can send data it wants. So it's a very big and important thing, and it's one of the most one of the things that has the most interest of computer scientists nowadays. Then machine learning. As I mentioned, interaction model is machine learning. You know, speech recognition and it's machine learning. It's AI that is artificial intelligence because it allows you to, the machine to intelligently answer the questions. Big data, absolutely, because we can collect all the data we want about the usages, about the timing, about the request, about the intents. So Alexa can collect a lot of data for us for future analytics. Alexa is a part of AWS ecosystem, which is also wonderful because a lot of computer scientists are working on that topic nowadays, and NoSQL database, right? Because it's simply faster and cheaper. That's why I see the trend that many applications, many companies are switching from the traditional data warehouse or SQL databases into NoSQL database. Again, for the reasons of performance. It's extremely important to have good performance nowadays. Lambda serverless cloud function. It's the future of computing. It's very granular because what you do, you decompose your application into microservices, and you deploy those microservices on the cloud. It's very cost effective. The current price is 20 cents per 1 million calls, which is really great. It's event triggered, so you don't have to program the call to that function. If some event, and those events are closely related to the existing services, such as someone made a call on Alexa, someone inserted data into your database, someone put a message into the queue, all those events are being served by Lambda functions. Because and that's why cloud integration is extremely important, and it helps us a lot. Machine learning models. Slots. What are the slots? Slot is the parameter that is part of your Alexa user case. So parameters have built-in type or custom types. And the beauty of it, they can have synonyms. That's why in the phrases you expect from Alexa, you can say this parameter is of type Alex name. And Alex is a great name, but it has several synonyms. It's Alex, Alexander, Shurik, Shura, Sasha, you name it. And in Alexa, you can easily program that. You can say it's not just, we don't expect just the word Alex. We can say, okay, Alex has that set of synonyms. And your skill would understand it and recognize it. User case. User case is a phrase. It contains slots, as we mentioned, the parameters, and those parameters can be either optional or mandatory. And user cases are recognized by Alexa applications. Example of the slots are here. Search for course in subject on day of the week, or set emergency number 2. And that emergency number, which in that case will be a mandatory parameter, will be saved in the database. And if you have the next command, and if your next command, for example, emergency, call the emergency number, it will call the emergency. Here is the graph of the Alexa model. So we have intents. Intents have utter cases. Utter cases have slots. And dialogue, it's a very interesting thing. Dialogue is an intent with mandatory slots. So you can say that you need that parameter to be inserted. And in that case, if for some reason the user hasn't answered that parameter, the dialogue will inquire about that. Please call, please give me the emergency number, for example. And again, that is very convenient, and that is a part of Alexa interaction model. You don't have to do much. You just have to know about that, and you have to implement it. Voice applications, Lambda linking, account linking. So all those things you can do with your Alexa skills. You can use authorization authority from some of your existing accounts, such as Google, Facebook, Amazon, or you can have some custom authorization authority where you specify your usernames and passwords. And those are already integrated into your voice computing. Now, with the newest devices such as Alexa Spot or Alexa Display, you can have a screen integrated to that. And for that screen, you can show pictures or even show videos. So it gives you full experience. It gives you full experience with the ease of using conversation and voice. Voice system testing, that's a very interesting topic. That's one of the most developed topics because a lot of people are working on that nowadays. So what currently you can have several options. You can have skill development console. You can have Cloud9 API where you can call your Lambda functions locally. It's Cloud9 API is the latest Amazon. It's the latest Amazon Internet Development console that allows you not only write the code, but also test your code and debug your code. You have Echoism, where it's a little web application that allows you to talk and get Alexa responses. You have CloudWatch that saves all your data, all your commands, and you can view the logs at any time you want. And there are a lot of new testing frameworks that allow you to test Alexa. Data science and analytics. All usage can be collected. Very important. We can use recommendation systems that will recommend students the classes or classes to the students to help them professional growth. All the skills, all the portal skills can be used by both students and instructors. The future. Rapid growth of Alexa skills. New devices, new features, wide acceptance. And I think students on campuses will be accepting Alexa more and more, better and faster than many other demographics, because students are usually the youngest and the brightest. Our vision. Voice devices will be in every room, every watch, every mobile phone, because we already know that Fire devices already have Alexa integrations. Voice skills will be created for every company, and it will really help us because currently not all the companies are having them. And the most important thing, and that's why I believe the revolution is coming, voice devices will change how people interact with computers. It will make their lives simpler, faster, and all the information, all the communication will be happening on the cloud. Now, basically, I am almost done, but can I take a selfie with you guys? Because thank you very much for your attention. It was really wonderful. I was really enjoying it. But let me take a selfie. Just a second. Okay. First, let me take a picture of you. And if you have any questions, I will be very happy to answer all your questions. Let me take a shot with you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm done. And basically, you're absolutely right. Alexa in the future will be able to take your shots. And Alexa Spot and Alexa Display have built-in camera. And that built-in camera allows you to take shots. And it's just, Alexa, take a shot. That's it.
Depending on the phone, it could be a Google or it could be a Safari, I guess, depending on what app.
It doesn't matter, yeah. The thing is, what I like about voice computing, all the leaders, all the brains, all the brightest brains are working on that. And once something like that happening, we are having a very important future. And I strongly believe that with voice devices, we have a revolution similar to the revolution the internet changed our lives 20, 30 years ago. I think we are experiencing something very, very similar. So thank you. Yes, go ahead.
So at the University of Maryland, what's been the opinion of the deans of the different colleges trying to incorporate voice technology into their curriculum?
Everybody is very excited. Everybody is very excited. Basically, it's slowly but surely, everybody is really excited about that. But as I said, the most important thing, and let me repeat myself, the goal of the conferences like that is to put a peer pressure on all the decision makers. Because the whole idea is to convince them to spend a lot of money. Because a lot of companies, huge companies nowadays, are still reluctant to spend a lot of money on voice skills, are still reluctant to pay. And I believe when we have more conferences like that, when we have more people involved, those companies will definitely decide to finally move to voice technologies and extend their existing applications. So that's, I think, what it is. And thank you very much for your time. And I think we are having really, really interesting future in front of us. Thank you.